Well, folks, we finally got our first look at the Black Widow's backstory, just not in the way we hoped and more in the way we nightmared. Yes, that's right, now that it has been all but confirmed that Dottie is in fact a Black Widow like Natasha Romanoff was before, we finally got to see a behind-the-scenes look, if you'll say, at what exactly entitles training, living, and growing up to be a Black Widow, and it ain't fun. First off, you're handcuffed to the bed that you sleep in, which, I mean, that seems like a really awkward position to sleep in. Like, wouldn't your arm go to sleep? Like, how do you get comfy? I can't even get comfy. I'm on a nice comfy bed with no restrictions chaining me in uncomfortable positions, and I can't even fall asleep. So not only that, but when you start to make friends in the Black Widow society, is that what they're called? Kinship? I don't know what you would call it right now. They do not take kindly to that and then have you fight to the death, apparently, because those two little girls, one who I'm assuming was Dottie, who I'm assuming was the one that didn't get her neck snapped, went just to town on her friend, they're fighting, blah blah blah, and then she gets her legs around her neck and the mother's just like, and she snaps that girl's neck, and they're like 12, and I'm like, this is like some Hunger Games shite right now, what is going on? So after that little disturbing image, we flick back to Peggy and Dottie in present time. Now, I don't know why all of a sudden Peggy and Dottie are like BFFs hanging out, having coffee together, like I just didn't get that whole ideal. But basically, Dottie is now wanting to single white female Peggy, I guess. Like, I was looking at her as she's like trying on her mirror, and I was like, she wants to become her, doesn't she? And then she was like trying on her makeup and everything, and I was like, this is really, really, really freaky. So I feel like now that we know the Black Widows are connected with Leviathan, maybe Dottie was placed there to take out Peggy if necessary, or at least find out what Peggy knows. But we also see in Dottie that she has kind of this like stunted maturity, because I feel like she was chained to a bed as a kid and taught to kill her friends instead of share bread with them and be nice. Speaking of Russia, well, not Russia, but the USSR, the Soviet Union, was the main focus of this week's episode, because Peggy and Agent Doucheface, who I really should learn his name, but I don't have it in me because he's a doucheface, so I'll just call him Agent DF for now, and we'll know that stands for doucheface, but it's Chad Michael Murray's character, okay, people? After much pandering and arguing on DF's part, Peggy was allowed to go to Russia to find out where this mysterious typewriter was sending them, because she managed to procure the Howling Commandos to help them in their quest for this. Interesting tidbit. I don't know if anyone else picked up on this or if I was just too tired and hearing things, but it sounded like the chief said that he wouldn't jeopardize his operation just because of Agent Taylor's crush on Carter, and I was like, what, he has a crush on her? Is this like when you pull a girl's pigtails in 2nd grade and it really means that you want to be her husband forever and ever? So that was an interesting development in that we still don't know who Peggy's husband is, but Agent DF finally had a little backstory that made him more than just a walking gun. It turns out that he basically killed a whole bunch of innocent people that were there to surrender, and then covered up by hiding the white flag they had brought there to surrender after he killed them, so everyone honored him and think he slaughtered all these enemies and stuff, but really they were just there to surrender, so he just kind of killed a bunch of innocent people, and that's hard to sleep with at night, isn't it? Unless you're Loki, then you're like, yeah, innocent people, boom, kill all those innocent people. So we got a little backstory. Still doesn't excuse you being a douche face, Agent DF, but I can understand, and now I kind of like the bromance he has going on with Carter, even though at the end he had to ruin it when he said he still thinks Stark is guilty, because I was like, you were right here, man, and then it was just like, even though it is a little higher because he did offer to take Peggy out for drinks with the guys after, so it's probably like we started from the bottom and now we're here? Here. Yeah, that's about right. In Russia, we finally got to see Peggy in full-on action, being her badass in front of Agent Taylor and all the other SSR officers, and I just love seeing her back with the Howling Commandos, of course, but then also being a badass in her own right and shocking the knickers off of Agent Taylor, saving his ass when he completely froze up in there. Just go Peggy, you are so badass, I love you so much. So in this Russian compound, basically, they were looking for Tony Stark, but what they found were these two doctors that were locked up. One was a numbnut and one just happened to be like, I help him calm himself, and I was like, okay, so the numbnut died. Basically they had to kill him because he went, you know, crazy as numbnuts do. So what they did was they took one of the doctors from Leviathan that was locked up wink. They took him back to the SSR, but I feel like he no good. Like, maybe interrogate him a little before you're like, hey, come have a cup of coffee with us. Like did you even check him for a gun or anything? You know, just a suggestion, or was Agent Taylor too busy rocking in the corner crying again to do that? Then in the Russian compound, we not only found these two prisoners, we also found this little girl just crying, and everyone's like, oh, poor little girl, let's go help her. Hey, you want my hat, little girl? Will that make you happy? And meanwhile, I'm on the couch freaking my freak out because I know she's a Black Widow just by like the look of her, and I was like, get away from that girl, she's gonna kill you, she's gonna snap your neck. Lo and behold, she stabbed him. He was okay, but she did stab bowler hat guy, who I don't know because I didn't watch Captain America. And then she ran away with like some freaky little spider looking moves, like she like crawled the wall or basically something that looked really creepy. I was like, ugh. And Bowler Hat wanted to grenade her ass, and Peggy was like, she's just a little girl. And I was like, do it! She is not just a little girl. She's a freaky Black Widow Russian, just freaker. But lo and behold, they just let her go, which I feel like is going to come back to haunt them. Because now the Black Widows are involved directly with Leviathan, and that just ups the entire ante and makes this whole thing more deadly and more creepy somehow. As if aliens that can only talk with voice boxes and creepy typewriters that move on their own weren't weird enough. We have to add this in. And finally, the last development was good old Sousa, who I've tolerated. I was like, oh, he's nice to Peggy, so I like you. He figured out that Peggy is the blonde mystery woman because he figured out that the bullet holes on Peggy's shoulder match a picture from the blonde woman. She has the exact same bullet holes, and now he is not looking too good. He's not the best of liars. He looks like he just got off a major coke bend, and I'm surprised Peggy hasn't picked up on it that he looks a little nervous around her yet. So Sousa, I liked you before, but don't blow this for me if you're gonna be stupid and reveal Peggy's cover, because I'm just not going to be happy, and I'll punch you with your own cane if you do that. Got it? The main thing is that we find out that Tony Stark, we may now know the guy who is setting him up. We may now know the guy who was setting him up, and the head of the SSR is starting to think that maybe Tony is involved in this conspiracy where he is being set up. So that's good progress on that end, even though I feel like now the Chief's gonna have to die because he's getting too close to the truth, and then frickin' Agent Doucheface is gonna be like, I'm in charge now, and I think Tony Stark is still a traitor, so let's go get him, yeah! Next week, shit is about to hit the fan, literally, because Peggy is gonna be labeled as a traitor, and we know how it ends. We know she's going to be the head of S.H.I.E.L.D. and be awesome, but just seeing her kind of fall down is going to get me so anxious, and clearly Peggy is going to have to get back with Jarvis because, I mean, he's going to be like her only friend left once the SSR turns on her. I just can't wait to see what happens because, believe it or not, I just realized this, we only have 3 episodes left of Agent Carter, and being that the ratings aren't that great, this is probably like the 3 episodes of Agent Carter we're gonna get. There's not gonna be a second season, and I literally can't believe it's already more than halfway over. That makes me so sad to think about because Peggy Carter is the ultimate badass, and not having her on my TV screen every Tuesday night is gonna make me very, very sad, but I'm enjoying the ride while it lasts. Oh my gosh, it's so crazy. It's getting so trippy now with the Black Widows. If you saw the episode this week, please feel free to leave all your thoughts, reactions, and comments down below. Thank you guys all so much for watching. I will see you next week when hopefully I can get my red hat. I mean, the show is almost over and I still haven't found the perfect red hat yet, so I'll see you guys next time. Bye!